Though I've only seen this film once, I've decided to knock this one out of the park and get it out of the way. Well, from the mind of Tim Burton comes another book based film, but unlike films that we got before this, like Beautiful Creatures or even The Moral Instruments, Sea of Bones, this one did alright. But I gotta tell you, it's kind of got some of the strangest characters you could ever imagine, in a way. Here's my review of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Bad Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2016 fantasy flick Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, released by Fox, directed by Tim Burton, and ran by Jane Goldman, based on Ransom Riggs' 2011 novel. The film stars Ava Green as the titular character, along with of Miss Peregrine, along with Asa Butterfield, Chris O'Dowd, Allison Janney, Rupert Everett, Terence Stamp, Ella Purnell, Dame Judi Dench, and Samuel L. Jackson. The film was released on September 30th in both the UK and the US, just 5 days after it made its premiere at Fantastic Fest in Austin. Well, unlike other films that came out before this that were based on young adult novels, those kind of got terrible reviews and why and didn't do didn't do so well. But even ever since they did Percy Jackson, Fox redeemed themselves with this one. It got mixed reviews, so I'd say it's okay to tell the story. So let's get started. Abe Portman has told stories to his grandson Jake about battling monsters and spending his childhood at Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children at Cairnholm, an island off the coast of Wales. The home's children and headmistress, Miss Alma Peregrine, possesses paranormal abilities and are known as peculiars. One day, Jake finds Abe dying with his eyes removed. He tells Jake to go to the loop of September 3rd, 1943. Following advice from Dr. Golan, Jake travels to the UK to go to Cairnholm with his father Frank to investigate the children's home. Jake discovers that it was destroyed during a Luftwaffe raid. But upon entering the ruins, he finds the children from Abe's stories. They take him through a portal, and he emerges in the year 1943 with the house still intact. Miss Peregrine explains that she belongs to a class of female peculiars named Imbrine, who can transform into birds. In Miss Peregrine's case, a peregrine falcon, and manipulate time. To avoid persecution for being peculiar, she and the children hide from the outside world in a time loop she created, set to September 3rd, 1943, and accessible only to peculiar, which allows them to live the same day repeatedly and avoid aging as long as they stay inside it. Jake is introduced to the rest of the children, including aerokinetic Emma Bloom, whom he likes. Jake learns he is also peculiar like his grandfather and can see the invisible monsters from his stories called Hologast or Hollows. They are disfigured peculiar scientists who killed Imbrine in a failed experiment to harvest her powers and attempt to achieve immortality. Led by shapeshifter Mr. Baron, they hunt peculiars to consume their eyeballs, which allow them to regain visibly human form, but with milky white eyes. A wounded Imbrine named Miss Everett arrives, explaining that Baron assaulted her in the January 2016 time loop at Blackpool, England, killed her children, and is trying to repeat the failed experiment using more Imbrines. Jake returns to 2016, finds an elderly man has been killed by a hollow, and goes back to the portal to warn them that the hollow is near. He is followed by an ornithologist who is actually Mr. Barron. Baron had tried to extract the location of Miss Peregrine's loop from Abe, but his hungry hollow companion Malthus killed Abe before he could do so. He then posed as Dr. Golan, encouraging Jake to go to the island so Jake could lead him to the loop. Using Jake as a hostage, Baron forces Miss Peregrine to trap herself in bird form and takes her to Blackpool, leaving Jake, the other children, and Miss Avocet as prey for Malthus. Now, for the ending, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. As I count down now, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Malthus kills Miss Avocet, and Jake and the children escape just as the Luftwaffe raid destroys the house, killing Malthus. Without Miss Peregrine to reset, the loop closes, leaving them stuck in 1943, salvaging a sunken ocean liner, RMS Augusta, that Emmett has used as a personal hideout. They travel to Blackpool and enter its January 2016 loop. They find and destroy Baron's White and Hollow allies, and rescue Miss Peregrine and other captive inbrings. When the last remaining Hollow arrives, Jake sees and avoids it, and instead it kills Baron and is then in turn killed by Jake. Jake says goodbye to the children in 1943 while he stays in 2016 and relates his adventures to Abe, who is alive and well as Baron's death in early 2016 has erased his presence in Florida later on. Abe gives Jake a map of international time loops, which Jake takes, serves in World War II, and eventually reunites with his friends in 1943. Jake, Emma, Miss Peregrine, and the children journey to seek a happy time loop. End of story. So what did I think of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children? Well, despite I've only seen the film one time, I'm going to say I actually liked it. It was pretty good. And I think this is another good film from Tim Burton. I don't really think it's one of his best, but overall, he did a pretty good job on it. As it received mixed to positive reviews, who praised Burton's direction and visual atmosphere, but it got criticism for its plot. But that's understandable. When it was released, it did factory okay in the U.S., making 87 million, but did much better overseas with 207 million, making an overall total of 295 million against its 110 million budget. Anyway, it did pretty well and what have you. Currently, its reviews are at 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying the film proves a suitable match for Burton's distinctive style, even if it's on stronger footing as a visual experience than a narrative one. IGN, gave a pretty decent response as Samantha Ladwig summarized her review with, though there are lingering questions about certain characters by the time the end credits roll, the film's striking visuals help compensate for its unemotional and anticlimactic script. The LA Times said it's easily the director's finest work since his masterful 2007 screen adaptation of Sweeney Todd, which I unfortunately have yet to see. And a striking reminder of what an unfettered Gothic imagination can achieve with the right focus and an infusion of discipline. USA Today gave it a pretty decent score, saying after a long run of dystopian young adult movies for teen crowds, Burton is just the right guy to make cinema weird again. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch gave a good score, saying that Burton delivers his most ambitious and engaging film since Sweeney Todd, although the story becomes increasingly complex as it goes along. The emotional payoff is more than worth it. Too true. There's lots of others, but I'm not going to give all of them away. But anyway, this film got nominated, but didn't win any awards and what have you. Still, the film was a good film and became a big success. Mike Higham and Matthew Martin does the score for the film, and I think it was pretty good, and what have you. The the group Florence and the Machine recorded the film's end credit song called "Wish That You Were Here." I can't have much of a recollection of the song, but I do believe it was probably a good one. Now for our cast, we have Ava Green, who had appeared in Kingdom of Heaven as Sibylla, Queen of Jerusalem, as well as Vesper Lynd in Casino Royale. Terence Stamp, who I know that name well, General Zod of Superman and Superman 2 fame, and also he played Stick in Elektra, the movie, played Abe Portman. He was good. And Asa Butterfield played Jake. Dame Judi Dench plays Miss Everett, and she's pretty good. Ella Purnell played Emma Bloom, who that was a pretty good character. Then there's Finlay McMillan playing Enoch O'Connor, who can a kid who can peculiar who can reanimate the dead and bring inanimate objects to life as his living puppets for a limited time by placing a heart inside. Ooh. Lauren McCrosty plays Olive, a pyrokinetic red-haired teenager and Enoch's love interest. She has to wear special black gloves in order to prevent burning everything she touches. Well, this wasn't the first time I've seen a character as a pyrokinetic. You may know I remembered seeing Selma Blair playing Liz Sherman in Hellboy and its sequel. But anyway, Cameron King is the voice and motion capture of Millard Nellings, an Invisible Boy. Pixie Davies plays Bronwyn Bruntley, a young girl with superhuman strength, and is Victor's sister. And Georgia Pemberton plays Fiona Frauenfeld, a young girl who can control and maintain plants, including the vegetables in Miss Peregrine's garden. Milo Parker plays Hugh Apiston, a boy with bees living in his stomach. Whoa. Raphaela Chapman played Claire Dinsmore, a young girl with an additional mouth hidden in the back of her head. Excuse me. Let's see. Hayden Killerstone played Horace Sumnerson, a boy who can project his dreams, which are sometimes prophetic, through a monocle. Joseph and Thomas Odwell as the twins, two masked Gorgon-like twin boys who turn anyone who sees them into stone. They normally wear hoods to hide their faces. And we have Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Barron. Allison Janney played Dr. Golan, and Rupert Everett played John Lamont, credited as the ornithologist. Excuse me, everyone. Chris O'Dowd played Frank. And, well, that's that. And Tim Burton himself has a cameo as well, as a visitor at the fun fair in Blackpool who gets a skeleton thrown at him by a hollow. Interesting. Well, I've only seen it once, but I will say I do recall seeming to like this film, and I thought it was pretty good. Now, I feel like I do agree with the critics. The story could have just been a little better, but nevertheless, I feel like the film is fine. Though with a good score, great atmosphere, visuals, great cast, and great characters. Although I kind of wish they would try to continue this. This was the first installment of a book series, but oh well. It's better to be safe than sorry. So overall, with everything said, would I recommend Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children? Well, the answer would be sure, go ahead. I think you'll like this. I think this is worth looking into. If you're into flicks, maybe like Harry Potter or maybe Percy Jackson and the Olympians, even though Fox only released the two of those, or maybe some of Tim Burton's other work, then I think you'll feel right at home in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's a good film. But what did you think of the film? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another young adult novel, and this one I feel like is a little underrated. And that would be the film Everything Everything. So I do hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films. The first installment of film series I was just talking about. In the upper left hand corner is my review of the first Harry Potter film, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone from 2001. The upper right hand corner is my review of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief from 2010. Or if you'd like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my previous review of the Moral Instruments, Sea of Bones. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.